after playing that, and it's 3 games in a row where he had a dagger of a 3 to close out a game or to win a game. The guy is just ice in his veins.
Ice in his veins. Someone else who has ice in his veins is Jeff Marek, who I believe could rock so many of SGA's post-game looks. But first, we welcome you to the show, the amazing host of The Sheet. What is up?
I don't know if I have ice in my veins. Here, let me get the shot looking better here. I don't know that I have ice in my veins, but I had needle in my veins on Saturday giving blood, which I always encourage everybody to do.
Like, good segue.
I know, you're like, where you going with this one, Marek?
Yeah.
Where are you going with this one?
Hello. Well, I have so many questions because you talk about this weekend, what you did on Friday. You were on air. You defied all time and space because you were live for 97 hours in a 24-hour span. Just how are you feeling? And just, I don't think people understand all the behind-the-scenes moments for that. Like, take us through a little bit of the trade deadline for you and, entertaining the masses for that long.
I'll tell you what, like, I do none of the heavy lifting. I'm a total poodle when it comes to that day. Oh, where's my makeup? Oh, where's my Mac 30? Oh, that's most important here. Who made this coffee? Like, honestly, like, the heavy lifting is done by like the producers and the execs, like everyone that puts the studio together, like all of that. I just sort of I just sort of make hockey sounds for a few hours. I've always said, Lindsay, that if I can't talk for 8 or 9 hours on a trade deadline or a free agency show and just keep going and just empty the tank and empty the brain and empty the research and empty the notebooks, then I probably don't belong here. So it's kind of like one of those, this is like your final essay for the season. It's like your final test. And you either know it or you don't. And it's just a matter of how much have you paid attention all season long. And then here comes the final exam on 2 days. It's free agent day on July 1st and then trade deadline day. But honestly, I mean, I've done it a few different times. They're always challenging because there's new dynamics. But this was one of the easiest that I've done. It's just because everybody at Nation Network behind the scenes just made it simple. It's like I was a cradle the whole time. Like, honestly, don't be too impressed. Trust me, that's what I'm saying. Don't be too impressed because the staff around made the whole thing.
No, you're being too humble. I want to bring up an awesome interview you had on The Sheet with Rob Thomas, who obviously was a storyline and it's surrounded in so many headlines. And I always forget, yes, it's a business. But he mentioned how he really only heard about the rumors or anything because of insiders. Just when you hear that, I like just, can you talk about that moment in the interview and just kind of that conversation with him?
Well, he did say that Doug Armstrong had sort of prepped everybody, right? So they chum the waters a little bit, like say, hey, heads up, I'm going to be talking about you guys, so don't be surprised. I mean, I think the bomb for Robert was when Elliot mentioned him on Hockey Night in Canada during the second intermission on Saturday night, that, don't be surprised if something happens with Robert Thomas. It never got to the point, as he mentioned, about, asking to be traded or officially being asked to waive his no trade. But, I know that there's a human element and you can never really prepare for it, and having conversations with your kids about daddy's got to move is never easy. I know that's what everybody signed up for and everybody understands it. Those conversations are still hard, but at the end of the day, that's what the money is for. Like, this doesn't sneak up on anybody. This is a reality. I think that, maybe the more interesting conversation that we're having now about all of this is, just because there are so many of them, the future of no trade, no move clauses in the NHL. Like, I've always been of the mind that when you ask a player to waive a no trade or a no move, essentially the transaction that you're presenting goes like this. Manager to player, give me something in exchange for nothing. Like, that's not business, right? Like, that's charity. I want something to happen, and I'm going to throw your life. And mind you, you've negotiated in good faith. There's no move, no trade clause. I'm going to completely explode your life here, and you will not be compensated for it at all. What I've lobbied for, or continue to suggest, is, and how you capture this under the salary cap, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far, but probably just put it on the cap. If you ask a player to waive a no trade or a no move, should there not be some financial compensation for that player, i.e. an extra $500,000, an extra 10% of the contract, an extra $1 million, whatever you negotiate? Because right now, that player gets nothing. That player gets their lives exploded. And when you don't waive your no trade, and there was a famous Muskoka 5 in Toronto, as we all know, I mean, you get branded as almost like a heretic in your own market. It doesn't do good for anybody. But I think if you created a mechanism where players could be compensated to waive their no trade, I think, A, we'd see more trades, and 2, it would be a little bit more of a equitable business transaction, no?
Yeah, it probably would be. Yeah, it definitely would be. You know, like you think about it in a Leafs context, because we always bring it back to the Leafs here. But you know, Mitch Marner last year, if Mitch Marner having to go through it and potentially like not waiving, and you know, it was post deadline that all that news came out. But you know, if Mitch Marner has to go through a similar Colton Parayko situation, like the heat's going to be a little hotter in Toronto than it would be in St. Louis on that front, Jeff.
It's a great point, Dan, too. You know, the one thing, and there have been plenty of managers that have, you know, wanted to roast players by going public with certain information. I got to give it to the Maple Leafs on this one, that they didn't make it as publicly awful for the player as they could have. Like, again, like I assume good faith in contract negotiations from team to player. And look, like they could have moved Mitch Marner in a deal the summer previous for Shea Theodore. There was the offer from the Carolina Hurricanes before they moved Rantanen to Dallas to move him to Toronto in exchange for Mitch Marner. All of these deals, you know, Marner shot down. And the Maple Leafs, you know, general manager Brad Treliving never used that sort of psychological pressure of making things awful for the player, which I applaud because it feels good at the moment when you do it. Maybe you get short term, you know, this is what we want, but players see all this stuff. Like that's the thing, you know, it's interesting, Dan, like all this conversation right now is revolving around the St. Louis Blues, and you can extrapolate it to, you know, the Los Angeles Kings and the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens, go all the teams. Players watch. Like players watch how managers behave, players watch how teams behave, and then when they get to free agency or they get to a position where they're asked to remove their no trade to go to a market, they have a resume of how that general manager behaves with players, and is it a player friendly environment? And that's why I think Rob Thomas, to Lindsay's point, you know, went out of his, Doug Armstrong, GM of the St. Louis Blues, went out of his way to say, hey guys, you're going to hear your names out there. I am going to be talking to teams about you, just prepping players for the possibility that it might happen.
You know, one of the things that comes out of the deadline is the trades that didn't happen, and some of the fallout that we're seeing around Leafland is a lot of rumors around Matthew Knies, and over the last 24 hours, there's been a connection with the Montreal Canadiens. I think it makes a ton of sense if you're thinking about where the next move might be for the Habs. But, you know, this is a guy that was supposed to be the next big building block for the Leafs. What do you make of Knies' name coming out as a potential, you know, trade candidate for the Leafs?
I always think back, Dan, to a conversation that I had with Kelly Rudy when we worked at Hockey Night together. And he said when he was playing with the Los Angeles Kings, Rogie Vachon was his manager. And he asked Rogie, like, how often do you talk to other Rogie? And he said, every day. He said, oh, do you talk about like players? And he said, yeah, I talk about players. He said, do you ever talk about me? And he said, Kelly, I talk about everybody. It's my job as a general manager to talk about everybody on my roster with everybody else around the NHL. And I know that's shocking for some players and it might make them feel uncomfortable, but managers aren't pirates anymore. Like once upon a time, you know, Brian Burke would always tell me the way that they judge trades, you know, when Burke started in the business as a manager, it went like this. You'll love this one, guys. Burke would say, the way we judge trades is if the guy you made the trade with got fired, it was a good trade. Yeah, like they were pirates back then. Like they're making trade, like Cliff Fletcher, right? The old saying about Cliff, after the Calgary deal with the Maple Leafs in '92, the saying was, if you shake hands with Cliff Fletcher, count your fingers afterwards. Like that's the way that GMs used to exist, right?
Wow.
Like that's the way it was. We're pirates. We're pirates, and we're just trying to plunder. But nowadays, it's more like, okay, what do you need? What can I help you with? What do you have? What do I have? And so all the names are talked about. Like this should come to surprise to nobody's surprise. Shouldn't come to any fan surprise, any player surprise at all, because all players are talked about always throughout the season. Whether the name gets out or not, that's another issue. I still don't think that this necessarily got close anywhere. But, the old saying, Gretzky got traded, so anyone can get traded. I wouldn't necessarily say the Maple Leafs shouldn't trade Matthew Knies until I see what the deal is. And I think that's true about every single player in the NHL. It's like, oh, you can't trade this guy? Why not? Let's see what the offer is. Maybe there is a way you can trade Robert Thomas. There is a way you can trade Matthew Knies or whomever. Until you see the deal, you can't really say, oh, they shouldn't trade this guy.
Jeff Marek, good morning, sir. Cabbie here.
Hey, bud.
I did a little deep dive, another quick dive on your Twitter feed. And
okay, so
this
hang
tweet
on. Do I need to get this? Whenever we talk, it's like I feel like I should be on a couch with like a therapist making notes.
I want you to be
And then when I was
comfortable.
5, Cabbie.
Well, actually, I didn't get that deep. This one is it's not going to hit you emotionally like the previous conversation when I asked you about the final car ride with your boys to the rink for the last time. Okay, so not that one.
Oh man. Oh, daggers.
On March 7th, 2014, you tweeted, question of the day. Describe the current state of the Canucks in 3 words. Some of my favorite responses to that tweet 12 years ago, almost 12 years to the date. Stink, stank, stunk. Fantastic.
Oof.
No one's bure. Rebuild for McDavid. And worse than the Leafs. Jeff Marek, what are 3 words that you would use to describe the Vancouver Canucks in 2026?
Oh, wow. Be very careful.
Oh, okay.
Be very careful, and it's because right now this may look like the easy part of a rebuild for the Vancouver Canucks. Like art by subtraction, you could argue like this is like sculpture versus painting, right? Art by subtraction versus art by addition. Art by subtraction seems easier, but really it's harder because everyone thinks that the easy part is just getting rid of players, right? Here we go. We're going to get rid of all these guys. We're going to pick up prospects. We're going to pick up picks and blah, 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 blah. That is hard. That is hard. Everyone thinks it's the easy part, getting rid of something. It's not, because if you make a mistake doing it, it can haunt you for a long time. I know that drafting, developing takes a while, and I get it, and everyone looks at that as the heavy lift. But subtracting is hard too. And if you don't have the right person with 2 hands on the wheel, you can really set a rebuild back even further than it needs to be set back. I mean, that's a great question. Man, I got to think really early. Where's my coffee? But yeah, be very careful would be my advice, or how I would describe the Vancouver Canucks right now.
I imagine that the fan base, as far as addition goes, would love to add either Gavin McKenna or Keaton Vierhoff or Stenberg from Sweden.
Caleb Malhotra. Let's not forget about him.
Yes, Caleb Malhotra, of course. Yes, Vancouver. He was born in Vancouver, Victoria, right? Because Joanna Nash is from. Well, they're from Victoria. Steve Nash.
They're from Victoria. His uncle.
I have a. Sorry, yes, Uncle. A music question for you. This popped up on my timeline the other day. Just a trailer for the Michael Jackson biopic, which comes out on April 24th.
Yeah.
The song Thriller and the album Thriller were Michael's magnum opuses. They had was monoculture songs or monoculture moments and songs that they just had such cultural resonance. In the last, I'll say this decade, if you accept that Beyonce's Thriller is Single Ladies and Taylor Swift's Thriller is Shake It Off, songs that had particular cultural resonance, what is either your favorite artist or the artist you can think of their magnum opuses? Like, what is that one song that is, when I ask you, what is so-and-so's Thriller, you'd be like, it's this song. And Dan and Lindsay, I know we all have eclectic music taste, so if you guys have one, if Jeff, you need a few moments to think about it. I have a couple others that I can just throw out there just to get your brains
really good
moving. Was it last summer? Was the summer of Oasis in Toronto where they had like or was it 2 summers ago?
Yeah.
It was last
summer.
Last
Last
summer.
summer. So Oasis might be Wonderwall, might be their Thrillers, and if we're going back beyond this decade, the Eagles Hotel California is probably, which predates Thriller, but probably that band's Thriller.
Lindsay's got a Dean
two.
Martin take, I'm
well,
sure.
like I have two.
Okay,
I'm gonna go back to 1969.
What?
Frank
That's too far,
Sinatra,
Linz.
My Way. Just got to
Okay.
bring them out here. Okay, Everybody Loves Somebody by Dean Martin, same time, which knocked the Beatles off the chart. Yeah, shout out to my boy Dino. This one's just slightly past the decade. I was actually looking up what year it was brought up, and I feel like maybe you guys might not agree with this. And the reason I'm saying Bruno Mars is because he has a highly anticipated first album in more than a decade, Uptown Funk.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
thriller. That's a
yeah,
thriller.
thriller.
That was a monoculture hit. I would agree with you on that one. Dan or Jeff, do you guys have either your favorite artist or an artist that you really love, their thriller?
Can I go back? And it's something that I always come back to when the world is in the state that it is in right now, and that's Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On."
Oh
Like
yeah.
I recently listened to it again and just went, it's 2026 and this is as relevant as he was when Marvin sang all this and put together the most brilliant album of all time.
Yeah, I think it was
back then.
71.
Like
I think that
like
album.
completely universal themes for a culture that sees its country lit on fire. So I know it's not sticking with the thriller theme, but I listen to What's Going On like right now and say this is like this could have been written right now by Marvin Gaye. That's the one that I'll come back to.
I like that you came
Nothing,
with the
and
substance.
every song bleeds into each other, and it's perfect and it's beautiful, and there's not a missed note, and everything about that thing is as close to perfection as I've ever listened to. Period. Marvin Gaye.
Inner City Blues is actually my favorite song on that record. With it's da 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 doom doom. Anyway, yeah.
Sing it.
Dan,
Woo.
do you have a thriller before we get back to hockey?
Or just do
Man.
the Thriller dance.
Pearl Jam Black. Let's go. I mean,
Oh,
I-
no.
it's-
No.
I got a problem.
That's like me bringing up Dean Martin. Come on.
But hang on. Here's my thing about like I love the music. Can I just have like one tiny 2-second rant on Pearl Jam?
Of course.
Oh, if it's
I
against Pearl Jam,
love
give us
the
10
music. I hate the singing. I can't do bottom lip singers, whether it's Barbra Streisand or Eddie Vedder. I can't do anyone that sings from their bottom lip. I just can't do it. The music is so good. I'm just like, I know everyone loves Eddie Vedder too, so I feel like a donkey saying
yeah.
it, but like,
I don't.
man, just if they had a different singer.
Jeff,
I've
we're
always
fighting
wondered.
right now.
I'm not. He just
Just,
became
uh,
even more
I
my
know we're
favorite.
gonna fight now, Dan.
It's Buffalo, Tampa
just
Bay.
can't
Like
do
we
the
are
bottom
throwing
lip.
down.
Nice, great
There's gonna be
reference.
like
Try
you
it,
know,
Dan, talk to me with your bottom lip like Eddie Vedder. Just do bottom lip
No,
talking. And just
you know
feel
what he
how
can
stupid
do?
you sound.
Lead singer of Creed.
What's that?
Well, I can do any of those bottom lip singers. It's
Yeah?
very Jeff's
Well,
right. It
what
is
a
pretty
flex.
like it is a very more it's a more easily it's
What a flex.
Hey Dan, here's one. Here's one.
Like,
Hey Dan, here's one for you. Here's one for
Yeah.
you. What do you call a vegetable that's cool but not too cool?
a vegetable. I had no idea. Not good with riddles.
Radish.
It's the ish.
Wow.
The ish does the heavy lifting.
That's
there.
that's my Eddie Vedder. Radish. Like cool, but I still can't get over
That's
it.
also that's also an all-time dad joke by you, Marek.
Oh, dude, I'm right on it. I'll tell you about the pirate that comes into a bar with a steering wheel around his belt buckle, and the bartender says, "Hey, pirate, you got a steering wheel around your belt buckle," and the pirate says, "Arr," and it's driving me nuts. My kids love that joke. I'm in total dad joke phase of my life.
Nice.
I love dad jokes.
Thanks.
Go around the table here. I mean,
Yeah.
just tell me when to stop because I got a few in the back pocket.
What cuts grass and gives milk? A lawnmower. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. But I'm going to bring us back on track.
Please,
Not
please.
really. I want to rewind to 2008
Okay.
before we let you go because you called
Sure.
multiple sports in the Olympics. I know everyone brings up judo, but I also believe you did table tennis / ping pong, whatever people want
It was
to
the
call
best.
it today.
Was incredible.
What random kind of fact about ping pong do you remember from 2008?
Ooh.
I don't remember.
First of all, I
yesterday's.
loved calling ping pong / table tennis because first of all, when I got the assignment, I was like, holy smokes, like how do you call table tennis? And Elliot, who had done it in a previous Olympics, said, dude, it's the easiest sport to call. And I'm like, how are you talking about? Like, how are you going to call table tennis? He goes, while they're playing, you don't say anything. And then all you do is you give out the score and they go right back to it. Like, it became the easiest thing. I don't know that, Lindsay, that I can remember any specific facts about. I haven't really kept up my table tennis knowledge going back to 2008 in Beijing. I do remember that a lot of it took place at Peking University, and they packed the place, and it was like royalty coming. It was like the Beatles come to America. Like, the place is surrounded fans, the stadium is packed, there's like high ranking government officials that were there, and I remember like all the different like bars or saloons or even recreation centers that you would go to in Beijing, where normally we would have like, you know, darts and a pool table, there was table tennis everywhere. Can I share with you though the one experience that changed my life in 2008?
Yes.
But it, honestly, it made me, like, Lindsay, it was a moment in my life where I was embarrassed to be a human being.
Oh, of course.
I was to be a human being. All right. Have I chummed the waters enough so I can tell the story?
Okay, bring it
So-
on.
Were you in Amsterdam and was the district red?
No, exactly right. Just
question.
put your head back, sir, and you're gonna enjoy what you see. So I can't remember. I think I might have been doing like shooting, or maybe I was doing rowing. I can't remember, but I was in mixed zone for something, and then came back and I wanted to go watch Phelps swim. Huge Michael Phelps fan, so I wanted to go watch him swim at the Cube. Cube was spectacular, by the way. Oh my God. And so I'm like, okay, so I file my story for CBC, gets in, and then I got my like little CBC shirt, my little CBC knapsack, and doom out of the International Broadcast Center, and I'm going to watch Phelps, baby. He's my favorite. I'm just in love with Phelps, all of it. Just love it. I can't wait. And so I'm walking clunk, 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 and beside me comes this like massive shadow, okay? And I look over to my left. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody who walks where every stride is and it's almost like they're gliding. Every single muscle in their body is synchronized with every single muscle, and you think to yourself like, holy smokes, is this person like walking on clouds? And this person had like their beats on and just chilling and had the coolest look in the world. And I stopped because I was embarrassed to be walking next to this person because this person walks perfectly Usain Bolt.
Oh.
And I remember being humiliated to be a human being walking next to him. I'm like thump, 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 thump. Here I go, gonna watch Phelps, going to the Cube. Here we go. And here's like the coolest guy on the planet walking on a cloud. Guys, it was the most amazing thing. And I remember thinking to myself, I am embarrassed to be a human being standing next to this guy, trying to walk next to Usain Bolt. Like, oh, he must have been going to the nest to run or warm up or whatever. But that was my Beijing experience from 2008. Yeah, man, I got to walk next to like the greatest runner of all time and like one of my ultimate athletic heroes, Usain Bolt. Coolest thing in the world. Man, is he big? And just like, honestly, walking perfectly. It was insane. I'm like, what does that have to feel like to be able to walk like every single day? Like he gets out of bed and he gets to do that.
Bro, what about his running? Not just walking, like his
Well, yeah,
running.
that's it, right?
Fastest man on earth, and Jeff.
Yeah,
Barrett,
like
man, this guy
that's
walks.
really what separates him. Not his
never
walking
heard of-
stride.
No, but that's
his
the
running
thing.
stride.
Like, okay, but so here's a great point about that. So I think running is the one sport where we really know who the best is. Okay, by way of actuality versus potentiality. This is always Aristotle's point. Things exist in two states, actuality and potentiality. At some point, everybody can figure out whether they're good at running or not. Okay? Not in everybody's lives do they know whether they're a good hockey player or basketball player or player. Just because of, opportunity or whatever, cultural, whatever, they may not get a chance to do that. But at a certain point, everybody figures out, can I run or not? That's why... that's one of the events that I look at the Olympics and I say, I am 100% confident that that person is the fastest person in the world because everybody in the world has figured out whether they can run or not. We can't say that about other sports. That's why that one I love more than any other sport because we really do know who the best is.
You're the best. And we appreciate you joining us today. And I'm hoping that you can tell people to go watch the sheet on Daily Face Off today as if you were Eddie Vedder, please, for us, sir.
Okay, coming up today, Shayna Goldman from The Athletic is going to be on. She's going to be on just after 1 o'clock. We're going to talk about the trade deadline, maybe the Sabres. You could call them the Swords. They're taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the playoffs. Here we go. Let me see one's Lindsay Dunn. Dan Riccio, put your head down for the bottom lip singer you're now embarrassed to like. My name is Eddie Vedder, 1 o'clock Eastern on the sheet. Me and Shayna going to break it down. I tried to drop an octave, but I'm still too nasally. One of the things I love about being sick is my voice drops, and unfortunately, I'm healthy. Yes, Dan.
The only difference is I understood everything you said there. Which I love Pearl Jam, and I don't even know the lyrics to Yellow Ledbetter. So
I'm with you. Like, but it's like sometimes. But here's the thing too. Like, you guys were talking about basketball before. Like, I'm like my sports focus is so narrow. Like it's like 24/7 hockey. I've had this thing about hockey to the exclusion of like all these other sports. Now I refer to this phenomenon in one very specific way because like I understand all the words you guys are saying, but like the way that you put it together, I'm just like the term that I've always used is speaking Sportuguese. I kind of get it, but I don't really understand it. So Sportuguese is when I hear people talk about other sports, just because I'm like way too focused on hockey for my own good.
Well, we can't wait to hear more.
Does that resonate with anybody? Does that mean anything?
Oh, absolutely it does. And I can't wait to hear more Sportuguese on the sheet later. But we appreciate you. Yeah. And we really appreciate you coming on today and dealing with us. Thanks so much, buddy.
I always thought that Sid Sixero should do that show. Speaking Portuguese with Sid, but no.
Oh, nice.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's giving away ideas for free,
right,
bro. $1 million worth of game by Jeff Marek. Love it.
Thanks.
Just hand it out like Pez. All right, bye, guys.
The best. So check him out on the sheet. And, we have another, I'm going to say legend in the Canadian sports world. And I'm going to read every note about this because I want to make sure I got every single thing right. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic for Team Canada, represented them at the Olympics, and as the president of the Ottawa
Nepean
Canadians Baseball Club, and for well over a decade worked for the Blue Jays, where he developed programming that helped change the future for kids across the country. He's a straight up legend that is very humble and doesn't like when people say all of his accolades. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, TJ Burton. Yeah.
Morning, TJ.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome. Oh, you know what I love is I'm pretty sure he froze as soon as we went to him because he was so mad that I said nice things about him. We'll work on that in a moment. We'll get him to.
I really wanted to. I wanted to throw in a Brendan Hagel reference for you, Dan, because I think Lindsay said you and Jeff Marek might fight. And I'll be like, yo, Riccio's got a little Brendan Hagel in him. Like who might be like the next Marchand. Like you just can't, you got a nice smiling face, but underneath you could be like a Wolverine. You could be the, what's Teron Matt? The Honey Badger.
Yes.
Got some Honey Badger energy. So Marek's got to be careful, even though Marek is one of the nicest humans ever. Got to be careful.
Us little guys, we got to have a mean streak to survive in this world. That's just how
That's
it
right.
works.
All right. Let's try this again. So when we talk about nicest humans ever, let's welcome him again to the show. TJ Burton. Yeah. Good
Morning,
morning.
TJ.
How are you doing, buddy?
Morning. How are you?
Oh, we're great. We're so happy to have you here. And buddy, I'm going to start off with a hard-hitting question for you that goes back to 2001. Baseball Canada did a written interview with you, and they asked you, I believe he's frozen again.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, we're having fun today. That's fine. Nick just messaged him to see about his connection. I can't. We'll have the cliffhanger of that 2001 lovely note from him that I know he will not enjoy.
Leave it up to Lindsay to dig deep on these.
I know, but we can't talk a little.
Was it in like an essay, or was it just like these interview questions that we hear like in NFL combines where general managers want to go really deep and unpack some like trauma? Was it one of those types?
Yeah, I think it was one of the types that when you have those NFL draft combines and they ask them all the exact same question and see what they'll say, and it's kind of generic. That's the question you can look forward to him answering. Okay. But his answer is like, I know he won't enjoy it. But when we talk about the World Baseball Classic, Canada playing today and they're playing tomorrow. Tomorrow against Cuba is the game like they really need to win. But heck, winning both in a row would be amazing.
If they beat Puerto Rico and Cuba, they can finish first in their group. But after Puerto Rico beat Cuba yesterday, Canada only has to beat Cuba in tomorrow's matchup against the Cubans in order to advance to the quarterfinal, advance to the knockout for the first time in World Baseball Classic history. So I say this with all sincerity. I hope I hope Canada absolutely destroys Yariel Rodriguez tomorrow. You know, I imagine if he's pitching, like, let's see Owen Casey and Josh Naylor just go Yahtzee on this guy tomorrow, because that's what they need.
But the best thing is we don't have to wait much longer to do this amazing 2001 question for our guy TJ, who I know has just been wanting to hear this question for us. So, Nick, I'm just confirming with you that he is good to go. Okay, TJ, here's the question from 2001 from a Baseball Canada interview you did. They asked you, if you could be a pro athlete at any sport besides baseball, what would it be and why? Do you remember what sport you said?
Football.
Yes, but I loved your answer because you said, wow, probably football. I love being a wide receiver so I could do a touchdown dance in front of the crowd. So, my friend,
Yes.
Have you ever practiced that touchdown dance?
I have not. I actually really
What?
never played football, but I played a bunch with my buddies a little bit in high school, but never practiced. But I always think, when I love football, I watch football every Sunday, and
I know.
seeing what that feeling must be of scoring a touchdown with 80,000 people screaming, I can only imagine what that feels like.
Yeah, I need you to practice Canada winning the World Baseball Classic dance because I'm here for this. They obviously have a big game tonight and tomorrow, like I mentioned, but we go back to you playing in the Rogers Center for Team Canada. Absolute stud on the mound. What do you remember kind of about that moment and representing Canada there?
Yeah, I remember it was such a cool experience, having worked for the Blue Jays afterwards, just how electric that building was for that game against the U.S., talking to a lot of my coworkers once I started working with the Blue Jays, and just talking about how they hadn't seen that building that electric in decades, and it was so loud and everybody came out and was cheering us on. It was such a good game against the U.S., and just being able to play in that type of atmosphere in Canada, it was a really special moment for sure.
And you think about it now, like what Canada's going into playing in Puerto Rico, like you had a friendly environment, but for a pitcher, how is that when it's flipped to being a hostile environment?
Yeah, it's tough. I've got a lot of international experience, and we played in some really big games overseas in Taiwan and Korea, Japan. And when you're facing those countries and those stadiums, it's loud and they have things that make noise that you've never even seen before. So it definitely raises the level of compete within you as a pitcher, and just I think anybody in that game. But I think for an athlete, a lot of times you thrive in those situations, being the villain or being the bad guy that day, and wanting to, quiet the crowd and do your best.
I was so amazed by the 17-year-old for Brazil that was able to get Aaron Judge to bounce out. I mean, I can't even imagine at 17 showing up and having to go up against the best or second best hitter in all of baseball. It's that's kind of what these international tournaments bring. It's like you're getting to really be put into situations you wouldn't normally get.
Yeah, for sure. The World Baseball Classic is great for that every year. You have you'll have, I remember in 2009 getting back to it, of a 19-year-old Philippe Aumont pitching against the U.S. and having the bases loaded with 2 outs in a 1-run game and striking out. I can't remember who it was. I think it was David Wright or something like that. But just a 19-year-old to be able to be on that stage at that point in his life, and seeing Contreras do it the other night. There's always great stories. And like for every Aaron Judge in this tournament, there's somebody that sells insurance. So, that's kind of, and they face each other. It's crazy. Yeah. And sometimes the insurance salesman wins. So it's a beautiful tournament. I love it. It's always talked about how it can be, bigger and what's the best timing for it. I don't think there really is a good time for it, the way baseball is structured. But it's an unbelievable tournament, getting the best on best. We just saw it in hockey, and now seeing it in baseball it's when you really see the passion come through, and you see, the compete, seeing that Mexico US game last night, and Randy Rosarina trying to shake Cal Raleigh's hand, and him just saying, like, we're teammates during the year, but right now we're not. And I think that's what's so great about this tournament and international play in general, is you're playing for your country, and you forget about everything else.
Wait, TJ, sorry, Cabbie here. I want to follow you on that moment. Cal Raleigh, was that a dick move, or is that the right move? Not to shake his teammate's hand because they're playing in this international tournament.
I think, given the circumstances, I think it was the right move. You're here playing for a team, and he's not on your team. I think, I'm all for sportsmanship, but I find in this day and age, there is a lot of, you see Rogers Center pregame, and it's like the two teams are in center field hugging and talking about everything. It's kind of a new age thing. And seeing a guy just kind of say, like, right now we're not friends. We're competitors, and I'm trying to win for the US, you're trying to win for Mexico, and there's a lot on the line here, and during the season we'll go to war together, but right now we're on different teams.
Okay. I disagree, but that's okay. Listen, that's you have a better perspective on it than I do. We just had Jeff Marek on, who's this great hockey insider, and he was speaking about an experience at the 2008 Summer Games where he's walking beside Usain Bolt, and Usain Bolt is this like massive figure in global athletics. What is and you could correct me if I'm wrong, you competed in the 2008 Summer Games for Canada, correct, in baseball?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. What was the most unique, like, athlete village thing that you experienced or that you saw while you were in Beijing?
There's a lot of them. It's a crazy place, Athletes Village. But I think just being, you see Usain Bolt walking around, you see Michael Phelps walking around. I think the cool thing about Athletes Village is it's the best athletes in the world all in one place, and everybody's worked so hard to be there. And I think at the village, everybody's friends. And, we used to, the baseball team for Canada, we used to host a couple parties here and there, and it was open to everybody. There was other countries that did that as well. And, I think just experiences of seeing larger than life figures just walking around in street clothes, going to get breakfast at the food court is just a really cool thing. And it's a surreal thing, but the Olympics is it's a different animal when you really think about, just life in general in sports. Like when you get there, and opening ceremonies with 100,000 people there, and presidents and prime ministers and fans from all over the world, and the greatest athletes you could ever imagine all in one place. It's definitely a surreal experience.
We know that Canadians are hospitable and generous. Now, you guys throwing parties, was that for a competitive advantage because you wanted your competitors, your opponents, to have that, the morning sweats the next day because they had 45 Molson Canadians?
I think we were a welcoming group. I think for us, though, like on a baseball team, the Olympics is a unique experience because you come right from your season. And we're used to playing every single day. And, after games, you tend to go out with the boys and talk about the game and watch highlights of other games and spend nights together. So we were used to it. We were just in the mix. And, again, I think it was a once in a lifetime experience. And we wanted to make sure that we experienced every part of it. There wasn't one person that wasn't ready to go 100% the next day. And I can't say that for some of the other people that might've been there, but they're grown adults and they make their own decisions.
Last question from me, TJ. I think it was Bryce Harper had mentioned this a couple of days ago. He's like, the World Baseball Classic is a thing, but it's not the Olympics. In 2028, baseball will return, but it is undecided yet if Major League Baseball players will play in this tournament. Gut feel, do you believe that we will see active Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, some of the big stars of the MLB today be playing at the Summer Games in 2028 in Los Angeles?
I would love that, but gut feel says no. There's too much riding on it. It's a sport that's impossible to stop for 2 weeks and just start back up. That's my gut feel. I really hope they can find a way to make it work, because it would be unbelievable. But I think baseball, you see it, as much as it's a beautiful game in the major league level, it is a business. And there's a lot of money invested in these athletes, and not just the athletes who would compete in the Olympics, but the athletes that would be forced to sit for 2 weeks and then get going again. I think, to me, there's just too much at stake. In a perfect world, they'd find a way to make it work, but my gut feeling would say no.
Okay. Well, we will see. We hear that a lot. In the best way, I hope you're wrong, but you're usually always right. Anytime I've ever spoken to you, you're always right. I'm going to try to give you 3 quick questions, because I know you're busy, Mr. President, but you were the showcase director for the Canadian Futures Showcase for a long time. A number of these guys are playing in the WBC and for Team Canada. What's it been like for you to see them, play at this stage after you've been there?
Yeah, I mean, Canadian baseball is a very close-knit, passionate group, and as much as you care about your career and everything you did, you care way more about the next group coming, and you respect so much the group before you. So getting to, I coached a bunch of years on the junior national team, and as well as ran the Canadian Future Showcase. So, there's a lot of guys on this group, watching them today, that I saw as teenagers, and I saw them go through the struggles of coming up in that environment and getting into professional baseball, and massive ups and downs, but to see them at the highest level right now, and as men and in their careers, and a lot of them, with established major league careers, it's so good. And like I said, Canadian baseball is a very close-knit group, and you're always concerned about the next group and what you can do to help them, because the group before you always helped you. So, it's awesome to watch those guys. I can't wait for the game today. And, they've got a job ahead of them, and teams never advance to the second round. So it'd be great to see them do that. And they have some pretty good depth on the mound this year. So I think if they got into that second round, there's some good chance they can make some noise.
Speaking of noise, there's been a lot of noise around ONC baseball. How has the last year been, and hearing the conversations and growth around that?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously leaving the Blue Jays for this opportunity to come back home. I was born and raised in Ottawa. Was something that was very difficult for me, but since I've been back, it's been awesome. The whole community's kind of rallied around the organization, and really the goal is just to provide an organization and a platform for kids that fall in love with the game, that want to train year round and want to pursue their goals of going to play collegiate baseball, or some of them even professional baseball. And there was some organizations within Ottawa that was doing a good job with it, but we've tried to come in and do everything we can to help that process along. And like I said, the community, we have over 190 players throughout the organization, and we have 14 committed to go off to school this upcoming fall, and we just want to keep growing as big and as much as we can, and provide as many resources to understand that kids from Ottawa can stay in Ottawa. There was a lot of kids leaving to go to different organizations just because there wasn't really the type of program that this is in the city. And, the idea is to show them that they can stay at home and have every opportunity that any kid in this country has. So, like I said, it's from the coaches to the parents to the players themselves. Everybody's, even the city, the community, everybody's kind of rallied behind us, and it's been an awesome first year for sure.
Well, we're happy for you. We appreciate your time today. And the last hard-hitting question I'm going to bring you from a deep dive on your social media. Can you still confirm that candy corn is the best Halloween treat?
It is.
No way.
Yes!
No way.
That's why he is my
not.
favorite.
TJ.
Yes,
That is-
TJ, you are the
TJ,
man.
that is,
You are the man.
Factually incorrect. Not the
Factually
man.
correct.
No.
He only
Yeah.
speaks
Correct.
facts.
I
and
don't
on
know
that-
if anybody. if Maddie Davidson ever watches this, she can back me up too.
Oh yes,
No,
Maddie.
I had a
Maddie's
lot of
also
bad
wrong.
takes in my time, but TJ,
Yeah,
this
that is a terrible take,
You
TJ.
only speak
is,
facts. Only speak facts, and we
always
appreciate you, man. Hey, thanks for your time today, buddy.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, TJ.
He is an absolute best, and yeah, he's a busy man that. Yeah, he's played at so many levels representing Team Canada, so it's really neat to hear his perspective. And I'm going
Amazing career, amazing,
Candy corn for
represented
life.
Canada. He's an Olympian, things I can never say. Candy corn goes straight in the garbage after Halloween.
like
who
rockets,
is eating candy
like,
corn?
the hard marmalade ones, like get those. Remember the ones with the orange and black wrappers? Immediately throwing in the garbage. It's Score, it's Twix, it's Reese's. That's it. That's like that's your
Literally
podium. Speaking about the Olympics,
Anything over candy corn. Literally anything.
What about when they give you the toothbrush or toothpaste?
The rockets.
they don't. That doesn't happen. Does it happen?
yeah, it does.
Maybe in Regina or Saskatchewan. But
Oh, that dentist lived on the block. They'll hand out like toothpaste or toothbrush, and that's why they get egged. Or the homemade candies, which you're like, you don't eat those because yikes. But guys, when we talk about homemade candies, I'm pretty sure candy is a popular name among some strippers, and that is fact.
they're called adult entertainers, Lindsay.
Sorry.
These are
Adult entertainers for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
We are going to be
Absolutely for
talking
entertainment
about-
purposes only. 100%.
We're going to do a hard turn from talking about a wholesome World Baseball Classic
Halloween
and
candy
Halloween
to-
candies, brushing your teeth, to
hitting
adult
home runs.
entertainers,
Yes.
to hitting
Yeah.
home runs.
Lights out
with,
pitching. Oof.
like
5-tool
6-inch
players,
clear
Lindsay.
stilettos.
Lemon pepper wings.
Oh yeah, so yeah, lemon pepper wings still happening at the Atlanta Hawks game, but unfortunately, when it comes to the Magic City promotion, which was we've spoken about this often on this show, it's a famous establishment in Atlanta for adult entertainers. It's a strip club, and Magic City Night was supposed to happen in Atlanta. They were going to celebrate the culture of the city, and they're giving out hoodies and having T.I. perform at halftime, giving out Lou Will's famous lemon pepper wings.
Yeah.
But it got axed. Adam Silver said he reached out to the owners of the team trying to understand why is this happening after, some fans were upset. I guess there was multiple people within the organization who came forward saying they were not happy with this collaboration. So yeah, it's no longer happening. The magic of the city is not going to be all over. But
They heard Cabbie say like David Stern would never allow this on his watch, and
a
Adam Silver was like,
I
"I
say
gotta
that?
shut this down." I
Did
feel
I?
like you did.
Oh,
I feel like you did.
Maybe I did. Adam, listen, these are tough times. These are fraught times. Your country's at war. People need a release. They need an escape from the reality of life. What is gas? $120 a barrel? Let people have some fun. They need an escape. And what a better place to escape than a place that has magic in the title. People can't afford to go to Disneyland in Florida or Disney World in Florida or Disneyland in LA, but where they can absolutely have some magical times. My good man, it's Magic City. Give the people what they want.
Yeah. So like my favorite part about all this is like I always wonder like how the marketing meeting goes where they come up with this idea, right? Because
Is
like
that Magic City?
probably
It was
It's just
an
like-
off-site meeting.
it was offsite. Yes. It was a team lunch at Magic City for the
Yes.
lemon pepper wings, as we know. But like it's like, oh, how do we celebrate Atlanta culture? Okay, we'll get music, right? T.I. Food. We've got the perfect food, wings. And then we'll go strip club. This is how it's like, wait, who made this jump to, okay, music, wings, strip club. Oh, wow. Whoa.
There may
I
not
don't know if
be a
that's ever
more
happened.
famous adult entertainment establishment in the United States. Can you think of another one?
Don't answer that.
No, I cannot.
Okay, sorry, that wasn't a trap question. I wasn't trying to trap you. Dan, I know you're in a wonderful marriage. Yeah, okay.
Nope.
But
I'm okay.
You know what's crazy is I actually know the answer to this, of the marketing meeting, how this happened. I only found this out yesterday, and it actually blew my mind.
Wait, you're being real?
I'm being real. Like, we're going to have fact time with Lindsay.
Inside the Atlanta Hawks marketing.
Inside the Atlanta Hawks marketing department, and the story behind Magic City, brought to you by Off the Roster. The owners of the team, if you've ever seen the movie Twister, the actress in the film, who is not Helen Hunt steals her man.
Oh, right.
Jamie.
Yes. Helen Hunt's ex is with a new girl, and
that
Helen
girl
Hunt steals her ex.
Is one of the co-owners of the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to say
Jamie Gertz?
Jamie Gertz.
No way.
Great name. One of the co-owners, and she did a whole 5-part docuseries called Magic City: An American Fantasy. And was supposed to do a live podcast taping during this Magic City night with T.I. and some other producers, and I think maybe one adult entertainer that was involved in this docuseries. So now I'm like, this all makes sense. But I had no idea the lady from Twister co-owned it. She's worth $12 freaking billion. Oh,
wow.
The lady from Twister who got her man stolen by Helen Hunt, $12 billion, sorry,
12
billion, big
yeah.
difference. $12 billion.
You need a little bit more than $12 million to own an NBA team. Just gonna throw that out there.
How much money do you think the Raptors characters that were represented in Family Guy yesterday threw out at this strip club? If you haven't seen it, here is a still from the episode. Like Jakob, we got Quickly, we got Scotty. They made it. And
They made it.
They made it. The timing of this all is hilarious, given like the whole Magic City thing. I don't know the storyline, but yeah, I believe that's Meg is the character. No idea the dog's name, but I believe that's Jakob Poeltl. Brian, thank you. Quickly, Scotty, maybe RJ Barrett. But I thought that was hilarious. It's such a random moment, which my understanding.
Do you think casual sports fans know who Jakob Poeltl is? I feel like Family Guy's reaching a little bit.
Not a chance. But you know, the
IQ,
Family Guy, like
really,
it's those deep cuts that like they're which makes that show a cult phenomenon. Just like how far they can go back or how deep they can cut into, you know, a very specific reference, like the center on the Toronto Raptors, who is not famous at all. There must be a couple of Canadian writers on that show.
Oh, it has to be.
Or like they're thinking like, what's the most random basketball team that the one from Canada? How about that? And the most random players that they could stick in a strip club with Meg and Brian, and away we go. And it's I can't wait to see this episode.
I know. Right now I'm going to set the storyline right now and talk about like bunnies and clouds, give everyone a nice palate cleanser from what we were talking about, and sunshine, little ducks, because guess what? It's time now for the next big thing, brought to you by Coca-Cola. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26 is bubbling up in every fan and every can of Coke. It's coming, and nothing can contain the joy and passion. Okay, they get it. So purchase a can of Coca-Cola and you can score FIFA World Cup 26 VIP experiences. Go to the URL in the description. No purchase necessary. Hey, we're back. Because guess what? I want to tell everyone, this is actually not an ad. I love vanilla Coke. When I was covering the Paris Olympic Games, this is what got me through. And this is just, I love vanilla Coke.
Vanilla Coke of all things is what got you through.
At room temperature, but we're not going to debate about that, because when we talk about the next big thing, Addison Barger for the Blue Jays, I'm imagining, is going to have a big year. There's a lot of anticipation that he will be the next big thing for the Blue Jays, Dan.
So I think Barger is like this crazy X factor for the Blue Jays this year. In a way, like, you know, he had a 1025 OPS in the postseason last year for the Jays. It was just like an exclamation point on the 21 homers he had over the course of the year, just crushing righties all season long for the Jays. But with Bo Bichette gone and some of the things that happened over the offseason, they need Barger to take yet another step, right? The guy just absolutely mashes the baseball. The other day in Dunedin, he crushed a home run to the opposite field, hit his own face on the scoreboard in Dunedin for this home run. He's never hit an opposite field home run in a major league game. That's a big sign of development for Addison Barger that I'm hopeful about. And it also came off a lefty. He doesn't play lefties often for the Jays, right? Because they go for that lefty. He's a lefty hitter, so they only really play him against righties. If that's a development that Barger can make, where he can be an everyday lineup guy for the Jays this year, he could be the next big thing for the Blue Jays.
The next big thing, when I think about that idea, I think language and culture are two monumental barriers to overcome for Kazuma Okamoto, who is one of Toronto's big acquisition signings in the offseason. He's tasked with effectively replacing Bo Bichette's production and defense. Bo Bichette, as we know, is this ultra contact spray hitter, hits for average, doesn't walk a ton, and has got some decent power. Now, Okamoto might have a few less total bases from like singles, but the upside in the power department, as Dan just mentioned, Addison Barger going oppo, Okamoto has the potential to hit 30 or 40 home runs, which would be 10, 12 more than what Bo Bichette generally hits. And where Bo Bichette can spray line drives kind of all over the field, Okamoto is known for elite plate discipline. So there's a potential to have more walks, get more opportunities to be on base, score more runs, which is what the game of baseball is about, scoring runs. Now, defensively, Bo Bichette's play was like an acquired taste at shortstop, but with Okamoto being slotted at third base, Jimenez at shortstop, Ernie Clement playing second, and Vlad Guerrero playing first base, that is an upgrade in the infield to an already stellar defensive unit. And finally, the Blue Jays have hired some support staff for Kazuma in Yusuke Ashima as the interpreter, who previously worked with Yusei Kikuchi. There's a dietitian, Yuka Senui. My apologies for if I mispronounce these people's names, who is a team dietitian, and Gosuke Kato, a former big league infielder who is now an analyst for Major League Operations. So the cultural barrier and the language barrier are huge to overcome. But as far as X factors go, I think Kazuma Okamoto for the Blue Jays, along with Addison Barger, can be the next big thing for this baseball club.
Boom. Love it. Love
two
these
options.
takes. I'm here for it. I also am not here for being roasted in the chat right now about my take on warm pop. But what I will take is to see if Cabbie can go 2-0 with his ProLine pick of the day, where Dan, you need to come back today.
Yeah, we need some wins.
Yeah, it's now time for your ProLine pick of the day. The new ProLine app is here. Betting online with ProLine Plus and betting in store with ProLine are both easier than ever with their new app. The new app has more sports, more leagues, and more markets than ever. Now with more games, or ways rather, to same game parlay your favorite sports, including baseball. Dan?
Well, we're picking on the Maple Leafs, okay? They've lost 7 in a row. They're pretty much the biggest pushover in the National Hockey League right now. They are up against the Montreal Canadiens. Habs in the thick of it in the Eastern Conference, trying to get themselves set up in the playoff seeding. Goal Caufield for an anytime goal tonight against the Maple Leafs, who just, they can't keep the puck out of their own net right now. So I feel pretty good about this one.
Oh, I love it, man. Gold Caufield's on a heater, or can be at any time. These picks are for entertainment purposes only. Nazem Kadri is the newest member of the Colorado Avalanche, reunited with his 2022 Stanley Cup brethren. Although Kadri hasn't scored against the Edmonton Oilers in his last 6 games, he's obviously had a boost of confidence and a boost in his season outlook, playing with the Stanley Cup favorites. And so tonight he's playing a familiar foe in the Edmonton Oilers, and I have Kadri to score an anytime goal with the Colorado Avalanche against the Edmonton Oilers this evening. That is my pick of the day.
I love your pick of the day. I wish you good luck, and I'm giving Dan a death stare right now if you're listening, because just going at me in the chat right now, which, hey, chat, follow along. Nation Network.
Warm soda is disgusting.
No, it's just magic, more flavorful. But I feel like we need to cap this conversation right now, because I'm going to get another hot take you guys probably won't agree with today. I think I found the best tattoo ever. I don't know if you know this, but mozzarella sticks are one of the joys in life. If they are on ice, I will order them.
Which is kind of doing. Yeah.
We can take the audio. Yeah, thank you. This is a mozzarella stick
goodness.
tattoo.
Wow, that is impressive.
Look
How
at
do you
that
even
cheese
think
pull.
of that? There's
It
no
does
way.
kind of look like a poo to start with, or like some kind of, I don't know, caterpillar. But
It maybe does look
if
like
we're able to replay it, I don't know how anything works in the back end here. But yeah, the fact that it starts off as the mozzarella stick,
Yeah.
you don't know what it is, and
Look at
then
it
look
open.
at that
Oh,
gooey
look
cheese.
at that cheese
Wow, there's no way this person was sober when they came up with this idea.
There is no way they don't end up getting laser and taking this off eventually. Like, you know, put on a few pounds, maybe so the skin starts to get a little bit
That
wrinkly
cheese will get
as you
stretchier.
age. Yeah.
I live off of those. What are you trying to say about my skin right now, Dan? Not only are you fighting Jeff Merrick, I'm going to fight you after this.
The mozzarella sticks. I'm talking about mozzarella sticks.
Man, okay. I hope you are. I was like, I am so ready to fight you
And,
right now.
and
But
that
I,
person's arm, not your arm. Your arm is
no,
like.
because I'm going to get that. I
Oh,
want to
you
get that
are?
tattoo. So, Cabbie, I brought this up. I
wow.
saw this. You have no idea how much I love mozzarella sticks. I wanted them served at my wedding, which my husband's like, sure, but everyone else is like, you're not having mozzarella sticks at your wedding. I eat them all the time if they're on any menu, and I'm so happy. They have them at Scotiabank Arena now. You can get these like giant mozzarella sticks for $7,000 pretty much. Like, yep, I will have them. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day. Mozzarella stick tattoo going right here, guys.
I feel like you're not actually going to do this.
No, I'm terrified of needles, but if I could get one of those press-on ones.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, let's see it. We gotta see that.
A little henna
maybe
tattoo?
during the playoffs when the Raptors are in the playoffs and we all do like a squad ride to Raptors versus Cleveland or Raptors versus Knicks, and we'll get
That
gotta
is-
get you that press on cheese string tattoo, mozzarella
Cabbie,
stick
great
tattoo.
freaking idea. I love this idea. I love the chat. Warm pop forever. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Off the
Another
Roster.
terrible
We're not going to let him take it.
Shout out to Jay Steve. He knows what's up.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube channel.